So it's time to hush and say goodnight. Look at the beautiful illustrations by Sandhya. So I've written other mummy baby books, but I hadn't written a bedtime book, as in go to sleep book. And I was researching a lot of Indian Tamil lullabies. So I was looking at Tala Tipata in particular, and also from both Awadh and Hindi and Meera Bhajans. I was looking at Krishna's lullabies that people sing, and a lot of those lullabies had nature in them, right? So they always call upon nature. And even when we were little and my grandma used to carry my sister around to make her go to sleep, she'd be like, look at the moon, look at the stars. And so it's always, I think it's a tradition that we invite nature into it. And I thought, okay, I'm going to want to write something like that to bring nature, the nighttime noises, and also when a child is, it's not about just not wanting to go to sleep. Sometimes when you have a very young child, they're just distressed for some reason, and
Yeah.
it's all about not stressing about their tears and
Yeah.
tantrums and
Yeah.
coaxing them with words. And I love writing words. This is one of the next probably five books that are coming out in verse, but this is the second
Wow.
book in verse that I've written. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And how
When
did you go? Sorry, you go ahead.
please go ahead. Yeah.
And I was just going to
No,
say, how did you?
I was just gonna respond to
Yeah.
you. Um, And I just wanted to say, as you mentioned, I could feel the situations in the book, described in the book. I could smell them, I could hear them, and I could feel them. It's not just visual, I could really feel all the senses coming alive in this book. And just to respond to what you said, I have a 3-year-old, and we know how it is to make her go to sleep or just even get her to bed. And I could completely relate to what this book was, even the first time that I read the manuscript without any imagery. I could see it come alive before me. So your words are really
Oh,
powerful.
thank
And
you.
I'm really honored that I could give them a visual. I also loved that they came with uh, little notes on how you see the book, and it just tied the whole thing together with a character and their father, and them going through this journey, which is it's so dreamlike, but it's also not the dream itself. It's just the process of going to sleep, where the day-to-day things sort of move away from the mind, and the mind learns to relax and shut down and go to sleep. And I loved that journey. So thank you
But
so much.
it's
Sorry, you were going to ask me
no.
something.
It's like what you've done is like a visual ASMR to go to sleep, right? So it's so natural on the page. And for me, I absolutely love moon watching and star watching, stargazing. It's one of my favorite things to do. And imagining, like when when my nephews come for sleepover, the thing we do is we switch off everything. They are in bed, right? They're technically tired, but they're also not sleepy yet.
Yeah.
And what we literally do is we all close our eyes, and I tell them a story that they have to imagine in the dark. And we imagine a story, and sometimes it's this woman coming to take your brightness away, so it can be dark, or it can be whatever it is, and like make up something. And this is kind of that. So it's like, even when people are reading the book to their children, they can go deeper into this, into how the birds go to sleep and make sounds with it. Or I love how the shades of blue you have done for those pages with the blue in them, and with the caves and all the animals from India that we wanted to represent. And the other thing I wanted to mention about what you said about the dad, yeah, for me, I wanted, especially coming from a South Asian family, wanted a positive representation of dad on the page, and both as a role model for other dads, but also as this is something modern dads are doing, and to give an
Mhm.
acknowledgement to that, and that relationship between that dad and that child, because different day, every day is different, and if mom is working, dad has to put the child to bed. And it's I like the playfulness, as in, because they're not going to go to, like, they're not going to close their eyes and go to sleep, right? So
No.
it is that
One wishes they would
playfulness.
do that, but they never do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if people are reading this book,
Mm.
they're going, the child is going to pick out so many of your beautiful, beautiful illustrations. And that's what I like. There's an elephant trunk, and there is a bee,
Mhm.
and there is
Thank
the
you.
fish, and all of that to look at. So for me, that was a joy to look at.
I tried to mirror something that was there in your words, a quality that was there in your words, which is that I feel that this book has um, repeat value, if you know what I mean, that it's something that we can read every single night and see something different in it or feel something different in it because the verses are loose enough to allow our imagination to enter them. And so I wanted the images to reflect that, and the art direction team was also nice to direct me in that sense, where we included a lot of tiny imagery, large imagery, imagery from daily life, and imagery from the lines themselves. So when the child turns the pages, they not only listen to words that have new meaning every time, they also see something different on every page every time they read it. And hopefully, it works out. I'm really excited to see how the book does in the market.
Yeah, and I think I put on a few reviews yesterday that people sent me, and it was so lovely how they've been already starting to read. Like my grocery delivery man came the other day, right?
Mhm.
And he's a dad who reads bedtime 3 days a week to his kid, because that's the day he gets
Mhm.
the doesn't get the evening shift. And he was just saying that, and I gave him the book, signed it for his kid, and I said, go read it tonight, and sent it off. But also, there's so much, like the page where you have the what is it called, the sun, the star signs, the, what are they called?
The
Yeah,
constellations, yeah.
constellations. That's the word I'm looking
Mm.
for. I'm supposed to be the word person here. But
Never
the
mind.
constellations, and those are all conversation points as well. So
Yeah.
slightly, if you're having a little child and a
Yeah.
slightly older sibling to read with, they
Mhm.
have so much more to relate with it as well.
Mhm. I agree. And I also think that another thing that you mentioned was that this has some South Asian flavor, but I think it's also something that can be read by anybody, and anybody of any language or country can relate to this. But we included some South Asian flavor, I think, also because Chitra and I have something in common. We're both originally from Chennai in India. And so I think it was a matter of pride to include some things that we've grown up with as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it had the Indian inspiration, but it is just a bedtime lullaby book. So
Mhm.
I remember one of my friends, when she workshopped it with me before we submitted the book, she actually sang it to me because she loved it so much. So she said, wait, I'm not going to workshop it first. I'm just going to sing it because it's so beautiful to sing it. And then she just sang it for me,
Wow.
Murmured. Yeah,
Okay.
and Jamie has done an amazing job on the design.
Of
And I,
course.
Mara Bergman was the editor,
Mhm.
and she's a poet herself,
Mhm.
right? So she's published lots of rhyming books, but she's also poet for grown-ups, as I say.
Mhm.
So yeah, this book has got lots of heavy weights behind it.
Mhm.
In that sense, I'm very grateful.
All right. Thank you so much
Thanks.
for taking us through your journey, and we hope all of you will enjoy the book. We'll chat again sometime to do some Q&A once the book's been out and about. All
Yeah,
right.
thank you so much for coming and talking
Okay.
about the art.
Bye-bye.
Amazing. Bye, everybody. Bye.